Well, today we're going to start our basic hat. This is probably the easiest hat there is to really do. We will get started with our yarn. Of course, it's going to be size 8 needle, which we have here. We have our size 8 needle, and we have at least 200 yards to do this hat. And this is a size 4 here. And so the size 4 medium basically just tells you the size of the yarn, so it's not too thick and it's not too thin. And the size 8 needle is what we're going to use, just like the back of the package says. We're going to use a size 8 needle to do it. So there's my yarn. You're also going to need your trusted tape measure, because what we're going to do is we're going to measure 6 inches, and then we're going to do another 6 inches, and then we're going to do another 6 inches. So that's basically what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you how it's all put together. It's going to be one exact piece. There isn't any pattern, I should say, per se on it, but the knit stitches and the purl stitches. Knit and purl is what we're going to do, the basic 2 stitches of knitting. So it should be pretty simple. And of course you'll need a pair of scissors to cut it off at the end. And then I'm going to show you how to do like a palm, one of those pom-poms to put on top of the hat if you'd like to have it with the pom-pom on it. It's your choice if you want the pom-pom or if you don't want the pom-pom. So if you're making a man's hat, you probably don't want the pom-pom. If you're making a woman's hat, you probably want the pom-pom. So that's up to you. So hopefully you choose a nice soft yarn with those parameters of it being like a medium 4. And we'll go ahead and get started. I'll take the end of my yarn, find the end of it, and we'll begin to wrap. And I'm going to wrap on one of my needles. I have one is smaller than the other. I mean, they're the same size, but what I have is I have one that's a tad bit longer than the other, but they are the same size. And this is the one I like to work with here, and this is the one I like to hold all my stitches on as I'm knitting. So it makes it a lot better to have one smaller than the other. So this is what I'm going to, this one is the one I'm going to use to put my stitches, to count my stitches. So for a basic adult hat, you'll need at least 60 stitches. And I have a big head, and it's like a man-size head, so my head is like 22.5 inches around. And most ladies are between a 20 and a 21. So, but either way, this is going to fit a lady's head or a man's head. So you're good to go regardless. We're going to cast on 60 stitches, and a cast on, and I'll show you that in a minute. But right now I'm going to count my 60 stitches so I know where to put my slip knot. So I'm just going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So we're halfway there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And we'll just do 31 because we need to be able to join. That 1 is going to be a join, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So now we will do our slip stitch, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the bottom string with my pinky. I'm going to go in, twist, grab that yarn and pull it through, and we have a slip stitch. And then I'm going to take all of it off my needle, find my slip stitch. Here we are. And the reason why we do this is so that I have enough yarn to cast on 60 stitches using a 2-strand method. This 2-stranded. And we're going to start casting on with both needles. Now I would suggest that for beginners you would use needles that are longer than this. Just for beginners, until you guys get accustomed to really working with smaller needles. Because it makes it hard when it's kind of pushing up against you because they bend, and this isn't a very wide circular knitting needle here. This one here, because I'm going to be doing a hat, we don't need it very long, but when you push it together you have some you'll have some pushback from the needles, so you have to keep them tight. Anyway, that's up to you. If you want to use longer needles, that's fine. Whatever's easiest for you. So I'm slipping it on, tightening it up. I'm going to keep the tail. That's what we call this end here, is the tail. Keep it towards you and keep the working yarn in the back, the one that's connected to the yarn scheme. And I'm going to hold both yarns together, put my finger through there, put my thumb through there, and right now we have it set. So I put it behind the knuckles. One knuckle, and then I'm going to bend it. Oops, and that just fell right off. Try that again. Put that on. I'm going to have to hold it with my fingers so it doesn't move. Put my fingers in, bend down here. And if you notice, I have this string here and I have this string here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the first string and over the second string. And then let your thumb go a little bit and let it release. And then we're going to just kind of tighten it up as we go on the yarn. So again, we're going to go under the first one, over the second one, and that's called a cast on. You want to make sure that this needle here is longer than this needle because it might catch, and we don't want it to catch. So we're going to go ahead and put these cast-ons on the needle. We need 61 cast-ons. 61 stitches, excuse me. See how it's coming? It's pushing its way up there. We don't want that because I don't want it to get caught in the yarn. So I'm just going to move it down the stitch. I wonder if I can just probably have the smaller needle down there and probably make it a whole lot easier. Let me get some more yarn here. So it's not so tight on my hands. So again, we'll start again. Just like that. We're going to be counting 60. So that's, I count by fives. So it's 5, 10, 15, 16, There's your 20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cast on the rest of my stitches, and I will meet you back when I have my stitches on, casted on. I'm back. Right now I have 50 stitches on my needle. And the reason why I cast it with 2 needles is because I am a tight knitter, and I tend to tighten up my string as I go along. So every time I cast on, it's really, really tight, and it's hard for me to get in between the needle to get to the yarn. So I know a lot of people do that, but this enables me to be able to do my first row or my cast on very loosely, and I can get through there to get my set row done. And I'll show you a set row when we're done. Okay, so we have 50 stitches. I need 10 more stitches plus the 1 to join. So let me put the cast on 10 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then of course we need the 1 for the join. Okay. Now my needle right here is the smallest one, is the one I want to use to knit in my right hand. So I'm going to pull that bottom one out, just like that. And I'm going to turn so that it is all facing us on the left hand. I have my tail on the back, and I have my working yarn in the front. I have all my cast-ons here, and the same on the bottom. Make sure that they're not twisted. Okay, I'm immediately going to bring up the back end as I go, making sure it's not twisted. And we are basically going to do like a yarn over, is what they call this, to join. So I'm going to use that last extra stitch to join these two together. So I'm going to take one from this side, and I'm going to take one from that side and going over that stitch. That will create 2 into 1 basically. So instead of having 2 stitches, now I have 1, but now I have it joined in a circle. Okay, now I am going to take that last stitch, put it on my left one, like that, and I'm going to go ahead and pull my tail through. Is it the tail? That's not the tail. That's my working yarn. The tail is right here, and I'm going to pull my tail around here and drop it down. And then I'm going to put that stitch back on my right needle. And now I have it joined, pulling everything tightly. Okay, so this would be my tail here. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and mark our join. If I can find my, find my marker. Now, I used to have markers, and I had a flood in my basement, and I had all of my knitting stuff, crocheting. I do a lot of things, crafts. I had it down in the basement. We had a flood, and I had to get rid of a lot of stuff that I had over the years. I've been here on this farm for over 20 some years, and I have accumulated a little bit of different craft stuff, and I didn't need a lot of markers, but I haven't bought any new ones, so I just use what I have, and I have this bobby pin. So I'm going to place the bobby pin on the very first stitch to mark it, and that's why we call them a marker. And those 2 stitches I showed you in my swatch, I showed you how to do a knit and I showed you how to do a purl. So those are the 2 stitches that we're going to use in this pattern to make this hat. Right now we're just going to use all knitting stitches for 6 inches of just standard knit. So we're going to go through the right pattern, or the right, and go around. We're just going to do it basically in the knit stitch all the way around until we have 6 inches of just straight knit stitches. Now we don't have a pattern to work with. We're just using basically our tape measure. That's all we're going to use. We're not going to even, we're not even using a pattern. It's just going by inches. When we did the swatch in my other video, if you haven't seen the swatch, you probably need to go back and look and go watch the swatch. And basically it just tells us that it's probably going to take 6 rows to do an inch. So 6 times, we said 4 stitches, 6 times 4. Let's say 6 rows times, that's what I say. Blah, blah, blah. It took us 6 rows to make an inch. So, and we need 6 inches. So 6 times 6 is 36, so it'd be 36 rows approximately will give you 6 inches. If you want to count the rows, that's fine. Right now we're not worried about that. We're just worried about just doing our knit stitches and getting it long enough to be 6 inches. And if you watched my video on what are the basics of knitting, you'll know that I have the gauge, and it has a 6-inch marker on it as well. So you can use the gauge on it, and you can use your tape measure for 6 inches, whatever is more convenient for you. Like I said, this is all about what you're comfortable with. No stress. I think my tail got messed up in there. There we go. Tighten it back down. Here's my markers coming up. Knit that very last stitch and to that marker. See that coming over there. There we go. And then we'll start knitting again. The very first row that I knit, that's what I usually call my set stitch, because that sets the pattern in. So all of my very first row is going to be knitting, and then I'm going to be knitting all of it for 6 inches. So this part of it goes really fast, and knitting usually does. If you tried to do purl on here, all purl, it would take you a little bit longer, because purling takes kind of an extra couple seconds more, I guess, than just regular knitting. So as you can see, this is just going really fast, and it's not too bad for a beginner. This will give you a lot of practice on this stitch for sure. which you need to know because you can do a lot with the knit stitches and you can do a lot with purl. Purling we usually use for patterns, like because it's bumpy, so it raises above the knitting stitch. You'll have these little bumps and you can make a lot of patterns with the bumps. And probably we'll do some videos on that. But for right now, you guys don't have to worry about any of that. This is just beginners. And this is going to make you a really warm hat. Nothing fancy, just a warm hat. We can get fancier as we go along, but right now we're worried about starting knitting and getting you into this continental knitting is what I'm doing. Much faster than the throw knitting, if you've ever heard of throw knitting. And maybe one day I'll put a video up on how to throw knit, but it's not my favorite because it takes longer and I don't have the patience to throw knit. I think that's probably what it is. And maybe because I am left-handed, maybe that's why I don't really care for it. Because throw knitting is usually done with your right hand, I believe. And so it's just complicated. And I'm not really in for the complicated stuff. I like my stuff just to work out the way that it's supposed to work out. So it's supposed to just work out. Hold on a second, my yarn is all tattered up here. Okay, let's go back. Now as you go along, you can see where you started the first stitch. Okay, and your first stitch is, you can see that we have 2 rows. We've done 2 rows here. So we started our second row. The first row was our cast on set row, and then we did 2, this will be 2 rows is what I'm starting. So every 5 rows you can move this marker up every 5 and count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Then your 35, and then your extra row would be 36, and you should have at least 6 inches. So we're going to go for that. We're going to complete all the way up to 36 rows. If you can count it. If not, if you lose track, it's okay. Just use your tape measure and get up to, like I said, 6 inches. So when I have 6 inches, we will be back. So I'm up to my 35th row, and I'm going to do my last row here. So starting my 36th row, as you can see, I've brought up my little marker here so I know that I have 30 rows done. And so this one will be my last one. And I'm just going to keep going around till I get all my last row done here for my 36 rows of knit stitch. Let's see. Keep it going, keep running it around. Seems like you just go round in a circle, round in a circle. It's all you do. Just keep going around till we get back to our marker. Which is coming up here. And then, now that we've done our 36 rows of knit stitch, we're going to start a different stitch. We're going to be doing a knit purl stitch for another 36 rows. So when you did my swatch video, if you've seen that, it showed you how to do the purl stitch there. So the first one at the marker, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right. So it'll be a knit, knit, then a purl, a knit, then a purl, knit, purl. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Knit and purl. Okay, what I want you to do now, so we have a little bit here of our knit purl stitch. So we're going to move our marker up all the way to the top of this one right here. So take the marker. This is going to be, I'm going to do it down here. That was the end. And this will mark our first row of the knit purl. So now we want to count. See how I did that? This one's taken both the V's. So both your V's. Now we're going to start the knit purl, knit purl, knit purl all the way around. And now we're going to keep doing that and repeat until we get another 36 rows of that. So I will see you guys back when I get my 6 inches done, or I should say my 36 rows of knit purl done. And I'll be back. I have completed my 36 stitches of my knit purl, and now we are going to begin our purl stitches. I have moved my marker up here to the very end, so now I want to start my very first row of all purl stitches. And we are going to do 36 rows of all purl stitches, just like this, every stitch in the round. And I will see you guys back when I have my 36 rows. And then I will show you how to tie off the ends. We will tie those ends off, and then for those of you that want to stay on, I will teach you how to do the pom-pom and attach the pom-pom to your hat. And those of you that don't want a pom-pom, you can go ahead and once we've stitched everything together, you wear your hat, and you'll have your first hat that you've ever made from your own hand, and it will keep you very, very warm. And then you can move on to my next video, which is going to be the scarf. I want to teach you how to make your own scarf, and that'll be on my next video. So I will see you back in 36 rows. I have completed my 36 rows of purl. There's my 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And so we're going to stop right now, put my needles together, and take my tape measure, probably, right now, let's see, how much do I need? One for the circle, and then I need enough to do the pom-pom for those who want a pom-pom. So I'm probably going to go, I'm going to shoot for, let's just shoot for a whole 30. All right, so from my needle, I'm going to shoot with my tape measure, and I'm going to cut off 30. That's going to be my tail. I'm going to cut that off. Okay, then I'm going to take my little plastic needle here. I'll put it through my plastic hook, through my plastic needle here, eye of my needle. Oops. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and take out my marker. We don't need that anymore. So let's see. And we are going to start just like if we were knitting from one side to the other. And we're going to slip these stitches off onto, slip these stitches off onto the needle. So just like if you had other needle, just pretend this is a needle, one of your knitting needles, and slide it off. And you're just going to keep going till we have all of them off the needle. Making sure we don't lose that end piece. Okay. Around this hat's pretty long right now, but it won't be in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and get all these off. I got one, I don't know if you can hear it, but I got one of my cats outside crying. Searching for somebody. Take it off. Just keep going all the way around. Gathering up those 60 stitches. I only have a few more to go. Okay, let's see. Just about there. Okay, and all the way to the last one. If you can see, we're just going to pull it all together. Loosen this whole thing here. All right, so we're going to pull. Just going to keep pulling until you get that to be in a complete circle. A nice tight circle. Okay, good, good. Now I want you to leave it like that for a second. Now here's your choice. Depending on the pattern of your hat, I know it's pretty long right now. Depending on how long, I mean, not how long it is, but the way you like the pattern. Because what we're basically going to be doing is this middle point right here is going to be our half point, and we're just going to, either you're going to like it folded in half this way for a hat, or you can have it the other way. So you'll have it with the knit purl and then knit, if you like it like that with a knit, or if you just like it with, you can stuff the knit back up over top of the hat. And then now we have the pattern with our knit purl with the knit. So that gives you two choices. However you like the look of that hat, this is what your choice would be. So what we're going to do is you figure out how you like the pattern, which side you like best. You either want it to be with the purl or you want it to be with the knit. So you decide how you like that. And it looks like there's going to be there's a darker here in the front. So if you like it with the dark front or if you like it with the lighter front, it's totally up to you. I'm going to probably choose to do my knit purl with my purl stitches. So what I want to do is I want this to be punched in basically. So I'm going to take the end of my other find that end tail from when we first made it, and I'm going to put that on my needle here, on my plastic needle. Sometimes they call them tapestry needles. I just say plastic needle. It's just something I mean, no big words here. Just don't need all that. And I'm going to take this, and we're going to just work this to pick up in the round through the holes, if you can see, back and forth. Just like that, back and forth, picking one up in the other, one hole, under, over, pulling it through. We're just going to keep going in around. So I went all the way back around to when I first started. So bear with me. Keep doing that. I'm just pulling it through. And now our string's not as long as the other one, and that's okay. I'm just going to have to work with it the way it is. The reason why the string is longer on the other end is because I have to do a, or I want to do, I should say, I want to do a pom-pom on the other one. So I need just to use the same string that we had to create, well, to actually, probably it'll sew on the pom-pom is what I'm going to use it for. So I'll have to keep re-sewing ends in. Makes it easier. Okay, I'm almost finished here to the end. Let's see. In and out, in and out. Just go back and forth. Just like that. Oh, I got a few more here. Let's see. Find the hole. Out. Okay. So I'm going to tighten that one up. Now leave the needle on the thread and just pull from the bottom. Make it nice and tight, just like we did the other one, the other end. So just be wary. Don't be strong-handed. You could possibly break the yarn, and that's not good. We don't want it to break, but we do want it to be tight and neat. Okay. Very, very nice. Nice and neat. You can see my circle coming together. Nice and neat, okay? Then I'm just going to take the needle. Okay, I'm going to go through this top piece all the way around. Kind of just reinforcing this top. And just hold it. Try to hold it as tightly as I can here. Just go around. Don't have to be exact. But it does need to be tight. Doesn't want to go through there, does it? And looks like it can be a pain in the butt. But it's going through there, so that's good. Sometimes you gotta fight back, you know? Don't let it get you. Don't give up yet. We're almost there. All right. Hey, see, that hole's looking really good now. Maybe a couple more here. Almost around there to the beginning. Okay. Then what I want you to do is we're going to go pop it through the opposite direction. Okay, so we're going to go down through it, and we're going to go the opposite direction for a few more. Just to get it in there nice and tight. Okay. Tight. Doesn't look like it's going to pop out anytime soon. I'm kind of pulling on it to see if it's going to loosen up any. It doesn't look like it's going to loosen. So I'm going to go ahead and do like a quick knot here. So I made a little loop. I'm just going to go through the loop. Like that. Pull this down. Just like that. Well, probably get like that much room here. Take your scissors and cut the rest of that off. We don't need that anymore. And I'm just gonna put my knitting needle down into, oh, we closed that, didn't we? Okay, so down into there, pretty close to that knot you made. Make sure you're not gathering any hat. Okay, we're just gonna, I just want you to be able to bring this out just like that. Just like that. That's all we need to do. And we'll just chop that off right there. Good to go. Now this is one top of the hat here. Like I said, this side is the knitted, and I wanted the side with the purl. So I'm just going to put this on the inside of my hat. Pick it up from the middle and just kind of shove it in there until I've made my hat with, there is my hat. And here is the long piece that I have, and I can feel, put your finger down in there and you can feel that other one. And I'm just pushing the other one up to the top, making it nice and straight as possible. Let me get rid of this other yarn and stuff right here. I still need my needle, but here, this is what I'm going to open this up a little bit. This is what I need. I need the little top of here, and we're just going to kind of tack it to the top. Now, if you wanted to not put a pom-pom on top, and you wanted to be able to reverse it whenever you wanted, you didn't have to tack it, and that's not necessary to do so. You can wear it without the tack, but I prefer just go ahead and tack mine in, just so it doesn't really have the option to move around on me. So I'm going to take this needle here, put it back on my string. I put my string back on my needle. Why do I say things backwards? I don't know why. And I'm just going to find a little piece here for the top, one little piece that I can run it through, it looks like. Right there. So that when I go to tighten this up, all of this will be tightened up with that tight as well. If you can see that, how it all nicely just comes together. And then I'm with the same thing. I'm ready to tack this and use this to tie my topper on. So we've made plenty, you have plenty of string to tie the topper on. So if you want to go ahead and try your hat on right now and see what it looks like on your hat, on your head, on your hat, you can do that. I'm going to pull my glasses off. I'm going to put my hat on. Oh, that is really, really warm. And I can already feel how warm this hat it really is. It is so nice. Like I said, I have a big head. And I'm sure you can see me in the little thing there with my hat on, but the little string on it. But once I put that pom-pom on there, it's going to look really, really good. It's going to cover my ears. That's what I want it to do. I hope you like your hat. And when you put it on and trying it on, that's pretty awesome. So, you can either tie it off now, which like I said, I can, let me see, put my glasses on here. But you can take it, tack it in. What you're going to do is get it as tight as possible, just like we did before. Go around this whole thing. Okay. Pulling it nice and tight as you can. As you can see, it's coming together. As soon as you tighten it up together, it just comes so easy to get through that top. And it makes a little nice little circle there. So cool. Then just once you have it going all the way around, you can go ahead and tie it. And that is just taking one of the stitches here. Oh, we didn't go back on it, did we? We're going to take one of our stitches down and back. through a ways, not too far, but go back to where it doesn't want to open. Doesn't look like it wants to open right now. And then take the one string, make your little circle, put it through. Then we're going to go down through the hat. Punch it out. And then you would just cut that piece off. Go ahead and cut it off. And then you have your hat just like the way it is. And you can wear it from there. I'm going to go ahead and put on a pom-pom. So if you want to learn how to do that, I'm going to pull this out so that I can put my pom-pom on. I was just showing you how to get that off if you're just going to have a normal hat. So if you want your pom-pom, I think I'm going to do a new video with the pom-pom on there. That way, those of you that want to do the pom-pom can do it. And that way I can go ahead and load up this video. And I will put the pom-pom in a new video. So there's your hat. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like doing it. Like I said, it's very, very warm. It's like a double knit, pretty much. It's double knitted. And but this hat will be 1 in a million, and it will keep you very, very warm. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you make many, many more hats and make some for your family, friends, all your loved ones. It's a nice, quick, easy thing to do and very rewarding. Thank you for watching. Love you guys.